Here we are.
What are we looking at?
TARDIS.
Is that what it's called?
What has happened? It should not look like that.
Bess,
Don't you see?
you wanted to show me this box? How does this help us?
It would have helped us, but now I don't know what to do. How can this have happened?
I don't understand.
But look at it! It should be blue.
It's more of a grayish brown.
It's stone. Touch it, that's stone. It should be wood.
A spaceship made of wood? That isn't possible.
No, this is wrong. Something has happened, something very bad. The TARDIS has been turned to stone. This has to be a joke.
I don't see what's funny.
This! It can't be like this. Maybe it's a defense tactic the Doctor has neglected to tell me about. Or some form of disguise. He did talk about chameleons the other day.
Calm down.
How they change their appearance
There's
to
bound to be
hide.
an explanation.
Or maybe he's playing the fool. Maybe this is just a statue the Doctor has put here as some joke.
Why would he have done that? Something that big would have to weigh... I don't know how much.
No. No, it isn't a statue. Feel it.
Whoa. It feels like stone, but... Is it vibrating? It's faint, but it's there. What is that?
This is definitely the TARDIS. It has always had that weird hum.
How can stone be pulsating like that?
Because it isn't normal stone. It's like the Doctor's ship has been petrified. But now we can't get in. We can't get the supplies. I feel like I'm letting everyone at the camp down. The worst thing is I can still feel that familiar hum. All of the impossible rooms, they're still in there. We just need to figure out how to turn the doors back to normal.
And how will you do that? We've all done a lot of wishful thinking, and none of it has gotten us anywhere.
We find whatever did this. Maybe we can reverse it. Make it unpetrify things.
That's not how this works.
Why not? Who are you to say that?
I've just been here longer. I know how this world works, and it isn't good. It won't play fair.
How does this world work, Querell? I get the feeling there's something you're not telling me.
I don't know how else to say this. Make peace with the fact that you're going to be spending the rest of your life here. However long that may be.
That's not reassuring.
You won't find much to be reassured about here.
Say something uplifting, Querell. Please.
We should go back to the camp. There's no point to hanging around here. I'm sorry. I get the ship was special to you, but it's gone now. That part of your life is over. Just like any part of my life off this world is over too. Welcome to Zanzibiam Querell.
I have to find the Doctor. He needs to know about this.
I can't let you do that, Bess. It's too risky to go looking for someone who is probably long dead. If he's still alive, he'll come looking for you, right? So maybe he's already at the camp.
Or maybe he's out there still running from those things.
Either way, the camp is the safest place. That's home now. Take my hand.
Why?
The hardest part of carrying on is feeling like you're alone. Bess, you aren't alone.
You are not being fair.
I've said all I need to say.
I strongly disagree. If you could see the extremely long list of questions forming in my head, you'd see why I find that very hard to believe. Are you just going to ignore me?
Since you aren't going to stop pestering me, that seems like the simplest course of action. Either that or I'll have to physically make you shut up.
You don't need to do that. It wouldn't be a fair fight.
You're right. You wouldn't stand a chance having only 2 arms.
I've outwitted countless foes in my time that your tentacles would be no match for. So how about it? If I win, you tell me whatever I want to know.
I'm not going to wrestle you for answers. We aren't children.
Oh. Fine. See if I care. Only because you'd lose.
I'm not rising to that.
Then tell me what you're working on.
I don't need your help.
That depends on how quickly you want to get off this planet. Look, I have no doubt that you could figure all of this out on your own, but time is a factor. You will grow old and weak, but give me the information I want, and in exchange, I will help you leave Zanzibiam Querell.
This place was once so beautiful.
It has fallen into ruins. You should get a man in, or a woman, or a whole team, just to pull up some weeds, do a bit of dusting. You'd be surprised how much of a difference that can make. As long as you're determined to refuse my offer and stay here...
Stop. Prove you can help, and I'll consider it.
Well, after only the briefest glimpse at your equipment, I'd wager that you're trying to find a way to weaken the electromagnetic shell around the planet, drain some of the energy just enough to power a small, rudimentary teleporter, and punch a small hole through it and send a signal. It's ingenious, but I'm sorry, it won't work, Gav.
How can you know that?
Well, I am something of an expert in the, let's say, the makeshift, and maybe this'll work. And this is relying on a bit too much hope. This is brilliant, but these connections aren't strong enough. Run anywhere near the power that you'd need through this circuitry, and it would do something far more damaging than detonate.
They'll hold for long enough.
Well, it all depends on where you want to end up. I mean, the teleport might shoot you up into the atmosphere only for you to plummet to the ground to your doom, or into the shell itself. Considering what it did to any ship that passes through it, I dread to think what would happen to a living being. Or you could end up in the vast darkness of space, and we both know exactly what that would do to you. Chances of you reaching a passing vessel are infinitesimally small. Do any of those appeal to you? Or would you like a chance of survival that isn't a truly terrifyingly low fraction?
It's the best I can do with the limited resources.
Oh, it is enormously impressive, don't get me wrong, but it would still be suicidal if you tried.
So fix it.
Well, I don't know. Have we got the parts, Gov? At the very least, I should be able to stabilise some of this, lash up and get you a more secure signal.
You don't have much time to sort this.
Why? Something wrong?
I just can't cope with this anymore. This hell is of my own creation, and it has all but destroyed me. Do you know what it is like to feel truly empty?
Better than you'd know. Still, tell me about this place, this planet. I know bits and pieces of this sector of space, but it's not really my speciality. It's difficult having the history of an entire cosmos in your head at once. Zanzibiam Querell was a colony world for the Ockenwii, right? I hesitate to say planet-wide holiday home for the rich, but it can't be far from the truth.
This world reached the pinnacle of beauty because of me. I was the architect of Zanzibiam Querell. I created a world for my people that would be as close to paradise as we could achieve on this plane of existence.
Oh, so you were the terraformer, right? Or landscape gardener? Maybe both. I don't know. I mean, I know that your people were somewhat lavish and decorous. I mean, I remember being at an Ockenwii poetry recital where the poems were seemingly endless, but with beautiful, elaborate imagery. Rather old-fashioned. You must have been happy, successful.
But it wasn't enough.
No, it never is. Do you happen to have a kite-field regulator?
There should be one in that drawer, but that won't help. The energy wave pattern is a contradictory resonance.
That's it. Right. There you are, you little beggar. I know what I'm doing. Invert signals on the Luffle band, recode the core processor, deactivate the internal dampeners. Easy. So, what happened?
There was another race. They started to threaten us. We thought we were on the precipice of the first war of the Ockenwii has ever faced, not just here but in our homeworld too. The politicians wanted to keep retreating to the next world and the next, but we were running out of colonies to escape to.
Well, that's an unsettling prospect for sure.
The first few battles were little more than skirmishes for the enemy. They were far stronger than us. We were fighting a losing battle from day one. We had prioritized the aesthetic and the emotional. We had neglected the offensive and destructive. They knew we were easy pickings.
Yet you won. Somehow, and I definitely mean won. You didn't find peace, did you?
A peace of sorts.
That's how murderers rationalize genocide!
I created things. That was my speciality. So I figured out what we needed and made it.
A weapon.
My creatures.
Same thing.
Biologically engineered creatures of mass destruction.
And you wiped your enemies right off the planet.
It worked. We were safe.
And how many lives were lost in the process,
I don't know.
Liar! Coming from someone who has lost more than their fair share of people, someone who has witnessed death on a colossal scale, I know in your head is a number that you can never say out loud because it is the hardest truth you will ever face.
Every single one of them.
A whole planet.
More than that.
More? What did you do?
All of their colonies. Wherever they sought refuge, we found them. My creatures dealt with them all. We couldn't risk any survivors, anyone wanting revenge against us. We needed the universe to know that we were not to be messed with. We needed to feel safe in our beds again, something a whole generation of my people had never known. I didn't want it to come to that. I took no pleasure in such extermination, but it was necessary for the Ockenwii. We couldn't live in fear forever. It was the ultimate deterrent against future attacks.
You could live with being such a ruthless, cruel species.
If that meant our children would never be threatened by alien aggressors, then yes.
That doesn't detract from how many deaths you are responsible for. You might not have used your own tentacles, but you killed them, Esterk.
I know. I live with that every day. That would be punishment enough without being trapped here too.
And how many others got caught in the crossfire? How much collateral damage was there in your universal extermination of your enemy?
Too much. Still sure you want to help me?
This camp reminds me of somewhere I used to live. I mean, it was better than this, but the feeling of being stuck, trapped, somewhere grim.
Please, don't cause a fuss. This place is tempestuous enough as it is.
I can't make any promises. Spend enough time with the doctor and you start to pick up bad habits. Like wading into situations you aren't necessarily prepared for.
Bess, please.
Hello, everyone!
What are you doing?
Trying to make a difference. My name is Bess. I'm new here. I just wanted to say that I'm here for you. I want to help make a difference.
I don't think this is a good idea.
I know that none of you want to be here, and neither do I. So I'm going to do all that I can to help us work together. I refuse to let this terrible situation overwhelm me. If there's anything I can do, let me know. Thank you.
That was unwise.
It needed to be said. The hardest part of carrying on is feeling like you're alone, right? It gets easier when you know you have an ally.
They're not going to trust you. No one here trusts anyone else.
I trust you.
You're the exception. You're different. Your humanity
Is nothing to be ashamed of.
But no one else here understands what that means.
Because you're all alien?
Or you're the alien. Depends on your perspective. Bess, don't look now. Here comes trouble.
No one has asked for this. You waltzed into our home and act like you own it. I don't know where you've come from, but this is not your place to command.
That was not my intention. I want to be a part of something, not take charge of it.
We know nothing about you.
Then ask what you want to know.
And take any answers as an assumed truth?
I have as much at risk here as you do. My life is on the line just like yours is.
Yet the way you hold yourself says otherwise.
So what? You refuse to trust me because I haven't lost all hope yet? Because my shoulders aren't sagging enough? Is that all you have against me?
I am an excellent judge of character, and I see how little light comes from you. You are not a good soul.
How dare you judge me before you know me?
You're just another idiotic alien. What would you know of difficulty?
I want to help! Let me! Gosh, how does the Doctor do this?
Xenophobia is dangerous here. You're strange and you're new. See how they look at you?
Doubt, suspicion. Yes, I see it written on their faces.
You have to admit, it's hard to see you as anything other than naively optimistic. Everyone else has been worn down by the torments of this world.
So what? I should give in to what these people think is mere pragmatism? Should I give up on any hope like them?
Maybe don't try to push it on the others so much. Because if you're hoping that they'll get you off this planet...
That's not the plan. It's what I want, of course, but I have a horrible feeling the only person who stands a chance of getting me home is now gone. And this is what he'd want me to do. He'd help. Sure, I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. But I feel like he is a lot of the time as well. But rather than let it get the better of him, he channels it into something meaningful. He uses it to make a difference.
I wish I knew how to do that.
Me too. I suppose I'll figure it out as I go.
How can you be so sure?
Because what is the alternative? If I don't try, I'm giving up. And I am far from ready to do that yet. It doesn't take a genius to see how dire the situation here truly is. If we don't band together, we're going to die. If we stick together, we'll last much longer. I don't want anyone to die.
Haven't you seen Manisha lately? She's been gone for hours. I think she's missing.
This is bad, right?
They're normally inseparable. Crashed here together and have barely spent any time apart since. If they don't know where Manisha is, she's gone.
So there's someone lost out there.
Either that or...
I'm not letting you say it.
Your hopefulness is showing again.
Good. Maybe this is how I can make a difference.
I don't need your judgment on top of everything else.
Are you trying to tell me that there's an upper limit to how much someone can be judged? Because believe me, that is news to me. In all my years of travelling, people haven't stopped judging me for my actions and my beliefs.
This is my prison. It's cruel.
To be trapped in a world of your own creation, give me a moment and I will think of greater hardships. Now, where did I put that Domenko wrench?
To be condemned to a place that once held such beauty, that was once to be prized and proud of, to watch it fall to desolation, to know it is my own doing, to see everything I valued rot away.
Except you can't see it anymore, can you? Because you weren't trapped here alone.
This was the work of my own people. When they realized what I had done, the true extent of the devastation I had caused, they felt like they had no alternative but to exile me here, along with my creatures. They were turning on us, my creatures.
They always do. I'm sure I saw a Scandi Psi pan modulator a minute ago.
Will it work?
Well, if it doesn't blow up in my face first.
Can you imagine being alone on a planet with only those murderous beasts for company?
Then you took your own eyes out.
No, that was a last resort.
Well, I'm still sorry that had to happen. Even monsters have feelings. And not just the ones in your optic nerves.
They were here. They had found me. I was the only other living thing on the planet. I was their only target. I could hear them taunting me. They wanted to kill me like they had killed so many others.
And this was your only defense? No. Play nicely. Come on. Behave. There you go.
Have you broken it?
I am more than competent. I'm just working with a fiddly Crestomek pin. Where did you get some of this kit? A dodgy car boot sale?
I didn't have much choice. I was working with whatever was left on the planet, and since I can no longer see...
So you wouldn't have to look at what you've done.
It kept me alive. Just about. I didn't have a choice.
There's always a choice. Just sometimes it's obscenely difficult.
Should I have stared my own death in the face?
I have done, multiple times. But then I have the advantage when it comes to dying. And when I make a mistake, I have the gumption to address it. I learned that the hard way.
You think I haven't tried?
I think you gave up.
What would you know?
More than you think. Just because you can't see the problem doesn't mean it goes away.
How much more work have you got to do?
Enough. These ridges and bumps etched into the work surfaces. They're your notes, aren't they? It's like Braille. I've been trying to translate some of it. Make some sense of where you think you're up to. Aside from being impressed at your shorthand language, I think you may have made a couple of mistakes. Seems like some false assumptions about how much progress you were making, and there are some simple blunders you just haven't noticed, and the odd slip of the tentacle. It's easily done. Your equivalent of human error.
What's that supposed to mean?
As advanced as all this science might be, the equipment you're using, rudimentary, doesn't even begin to touch what we're working with.
But it can do what we need it to.
Theoretically, it's all plausible, but this isn't just an exercise in whether something could work. Practically, it's a different matter. This system can't ever have a safety net, you know that. There's nowhere we could route any precautions. Assuming you can get it to work, you'd be flying blind. One chance only.
I'm willing to take that risk.
Well, that's all well and good. After everything that you've told me, I might be tempted to let you do something so utterly reckless with your life. But it'll only work if you can get a hole into the electromagnetic shell first. There, we have a major issue. Based on this device that you've started to rig up, and what I've deciphered from your notes, you're trying to release a pulse that will counteract the effects of the shell enough to create the faintest fracture.
That's correct.
But there's more to it than that. So much more. See, this gadget of yours is miles away from achieving that. Where you've improved certain elements, it just won't work. Not the way that you want it to. Some of the logic that you've been working to needs a couple of redrafts. Get back to me in a few centuries when thinking has advanced, because as it stands, this gadget won't pierce the shell.
It has to. How can it not?
Give me a tentacle. Feel those ridges along here? These resistors influence force distribution. Can you tell me what's wrong with them?
The second one might be a bit scratched, but I've tested it and it works fine.
Oh, I don't doubt that. The problem isn't whether they work. It's whether they can bend the rules of physics. See, when you get around to installing a trigger and press what I am picturing as a big red button, you'll send a pulse up to the shell, all right, but it can't shatter it. The pulse operates on a flat modulation.
But that's what we need.
False. But you can't know that yet. It won't go through. It'll travel along it, stay on this side.
You mean the shell would reflect the pulse back on us?
The shell would charge it up. You haven't created an escape route. You've got a machine capable of emitting a deadly pulse that would kill everything currently alive on this planet. All the people, all the wildlife, all the nature.
My creatures.
Every living cell would be fried. You'd be condemning yet another planet to agony. Why do your attempts at science seem to keep resulting in worldwide death, It's a good thing I came along. Maybe I can prevent you from making another diabolical mistake.
Destroy everything. The creatures too. Maybe you're the one making the mistake, Doctor, if you can't see the potential of what this could do. If I cannot leave, I could at least rid the world of my monsters.
What are we waiting around for? We should strike while the iron is hot. We'll look for your missing friend.
Bess, maybe now is not the time. It's dangerous out there.
Precisely. I feel like you aren't listening. If someone is lost and alone out there, They'll be in far more danger than us, right? Just like I was when you found me.
That was pure chance.
Then we hope luck is in our favor again. Listen to me! I know you don't know me that well or care for me at all in some cases, but if we band together we can find your missing friend. There's safety in numbers, and that's why you stay together here. So if we work together and enough of us go out there to look, we will still be safe. We'll find who's gone missing and bring them back. We can show this planet who is really boss. Who's with me? None of you. Really? No one wants to help?
They're scared. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
Fine. I'll go on my own.
You'll die.
I have faith.
I'll come with you.
Goris? You will?
You doubt me? I suppose you're right. We stand a better chance of success together.
Well, okay then. I'll feel a lot safer having someone else with me out there. Thanks.
Don't worry. We'll come back. I have faith.
Bess, be careful. I don't think she's going with you out of the goodness of her heart.
I have that impression too. She likes being in charge and probably doesn't want me showing her up. Don't worry, we'll be back soon, Kure. Keep an eye on things here.
Keep an eye on her. Stay safe.
I plan to. You too. Wait up! Don't leave me behind!
Done saying your goodbyes?
It wasn't goodbye. More like see you soon.
Is there a difference? Regardless of what happens to us, you'll see him again on the other side.
Did you hear that?
I think it came from over there. This forest is deceptive.
Hello?
What are you doing?
I thought we were here to rescue someone. How will she even know we're looking for her if we don't call out for her?
But then those things will hear us.
As much as you're afraid, imagine what it's like to be out here on your own, lost and afraid, surrounded by darkness and trees and monsters. And what she needs is to hear a friendly voice. Hello?
I appreciate your sentiment, but cannot fathom why you are shaking as much as you are if you genuinely believe that, human. Because I suspect it is you that desires to hear a friendly voice calling out through the void. A voice we both know isn't coming.
What? Why say that?
You didn't come here alone, did you? You have a crewmate out there somewhere. How many hours has it been since you last saw him or heard from him?
I don't know, but he'll be out there. We've faced tougher things than a dark and spooky forest.
We both know it is considerably more than that.
Well, I haven't seen anything yet. Just...
heard them stalking through the trees. You have no idea how terrifying these creatures are.
Tell me, Goris, what are they? Because no one has said yet. They just seem to cower in fear whenever they are brought up. Hide themselves as if that'll save them.
You'll find out soon enough, young thing.
Young? How old are you?
My species survives centuries with ease. I can smell the youth on you. And I doubt I'm the only one in this forest who can detect your fear.
I'm not afraid.
You can say that all you like, but your pheromones say otherwise. Your body is producing chemicals that make your feelings obvious. It doesn't matter what you say. Your body will give up your secrets happily.
What else can you smell?
Non-believers.
I might not believe in the light like you do.
Do you want to know what they'll do to you if you get caught?
I'll die.
Worse than that. They're ruthlessly cruel. Once they have you in their sights, you cannot run. You're lost. You belong to them.
I've got more fight in me than you seem to want to give me credit for.
If you say so, human. It's your funeral.
Where did that come from?
This way. Hurry.
Hello? We're here to help! Did you see that? Someone fleeing, was it?
No. She's here. Manisha.
I'm sorry. We're too late. This poor soul, she's dead.
We came out here for nothing. I can't save her.
I thought I saw someone running away. Should we follow? Could it have been one of the creatures?
It's too late. They'll be long gone now. And no, it wasn't one of the creatures. It couldn't have been. Look at the body. Her throat has been cut. There's some warmth to her. This was recent.
How can you be so detached?
Trust in the light. It will show you where to go next. Take a closer look at this. These marks here.
They look like... teeth marks?
This whole situation is getting worse. What if they cut her throat to bleed the body before
Don't say it.
eating it?
No one would do that. Are you sure it isn't one of the creatures?
Times are tough. Food is scarce.
You can't condone this.
I am simply trying to understand why someone in my camp would start eating other survivors.
You've been working on this for hours. Tell me you fixed it.
I've done all I can.
Is that a yes?
It's more of an ish. You see, I've tried to reroute the power away from the more dangerous circuits. I've done what I can to minimize potential hazards, but this does seem to be more of an exercise in risk management more than engineering.
There must be something. Let me review my notes.
I'm sorry, Esterk, but there's only so much that can be tried.
No, I refuse to believe it.
I don't know what else to say.
Tell me this will work. I have spent too long doing this. It can't stop now.
Even if we could weaken the shell, teleporting out would be suicidal.
You didn't seem to have a problem with that earlier.
But I didn't mean it. I'd never actually let you do that.
I'm not interested in more excuses.
Esterk, please, there's no need to break things.
How did you get here?
I walked.
To this planet.
My ship.
Take me there. All the talk of knowledge from the future. I want to see your craft. You must have access to some equipment that will be more useful.
No, we can't.
Why not? You can fix all of this, can't you? You can give me the tech I need. Something must have survived the crash. Even the slightest thing. There must be something.
We can't because it's been completely destroyed.
No, there must be something we can salvage. Remnants from even the most primitive ships have survived passing through the shell. If your craft is even half as impressive as your attitude suggests, we can find circuits, the resistors we need for the force regulation. Something. Anything.
Nothing survived.
Lies. More lies.
I swear I'm telling the truth.
That means nothing to me. You're an agent of the Ockenwii government. My people sent you here because I'm too close to leaving. I bet that pulse wouldn't kill anyone.
What? Of course it will! Are you even listening to yourself? Do you know how paranoid you sound?
Get out. I don't want you in my house anymore. Get out!
No, I am not going to leave, not if you carry on with these dangerous experiments! Ah! Oh!
Last chance to show me your craft.
Oh, that hurts. I told you. Ow, that's gonna bruise. I told you nothing survived the crash.
Lies!
What?
You're lying!
What are you doing? Get off me! Get off me, you lunatic! Are you locking me out?
You're no use to me.
Oh, come on. Can we just talk this through?
You aren't welcome here anymore.
Esterk? Esterk? Esterk! Oh, come on. I know you can hear me. Let me in, Esterk. Esterk! Look, we haven't finished talking yet. I've always got more questions, but these creatures of yours, they fascinate me. Especially since you don't want to say much about them. Why so evasive, Esterk? What have you got to hide? What could be so bad? Look, I've met the creator of the Daleks. I've had very long conversations with him. And you can't be half as bad as he was. Okay. Okay, this isn't funny anymore. Do you expect me to stay out here in the rain? I'll be soaked through and you wouldn't like me with a cold. Esterk, I'll be sneezing all over your door.
Go away!
I'm not going anywhere.
Stop shouting at least.
Ah, I see. Now I know that you don't want me to. I'll just get louder!
We'll draw them closer.
What? You mean your mean creatures?
They'll hear you. They already want to get in here, and with all this extra commotion.
So I'll finally get to see what they are. Good. Now come on, come and get me!
You'll regret that.
Actually, now it's happening, maybe this wasn't the wisest course of action I've ever come up with. There is something out here and I can hear it moving. Fancy opening that door now.
I can't.
But I'm backed against it, there's nowhere to go!
You wanted this.
I thought it would make you let me in. If they're as bad as you're suggesting, these creatures will kill me, right? And you'd let that happen on your own doorstep?
Don't look at it. Whatever you do, don't look at it.
What do you mean? How will I know where it is if I don't look? I can't defend myself against something I don't see coming.
Not looking is your best defense.
Not looking? What? Wait, no. Think. Yes, you blinded yourself? What if looking at the creatures is part of the danger? No. Esterk, the race your creatures wiped out, what were they called?
The Padricons.
But they were all petrified, literally turned to stone. That would explain the statues in the garden. They aren't statues, are they? They're people. Your creatures, they're gorgons. And if I look at it, it'll turn me to stone. You have got to let me in, Esterk! Let me in! Oh boy, it's here.